Luo Feng looked at the appearance of the hermit in front of him. His body was much more muscular than the teacher in his memory. After all, in the original universe area, the hermit was a true god, and he broke through to the void true god when he was about to break through the reincarnation channel. Now he is a chaos realm who cultivates the Hunyuan bloodline. You fought with the king of Food Kingdom so soon, which was much faster than I expected. Swashanka looked at his disciple with a smile. Luo Feng was certain when he heard this. Teacher, it is impossible to determine the identity of a teacher based on life breath or cause and effect. There are only a handful of people in the origin continent who know that he is Luo Feng's friend. Yuan, Morosa, and Di Chu are all people he trusts extremely. As long as they can call out his name, Luo Feng trusts them almost completely. The grudge between the mountain-sitting guest and the Lord of the Food Kingdom was only told to me by my teacher when I was reincarnated. Only I and my teacher knew about it. There was no third party involved. It's unfair for me to pin my hopes of revenge on you. Mountain-sitting guest looked at Luo Feng and said with emotion, because to completely kill a second-level divine king is something that even the emperors and monarchs may not be able to do. But I don't see any other possibilities. I only see possibilities in you, the hermit said. I also know that you don't care about this little bit of pressure at all. Luo Feng smiled. This little bit of pressure is really nothing. The teacher did not force himself to die, but only took action when he was sure. You have been in the origin continent for less than 200 centuries, and you have reached such a realm, far surpassing me. Zhu Shanka had complicated feelings. He had transformed the earth and cultivated a powerful race. He watched Luo Feng grow from a weak boy to a powerful one. As a god king, he has always been aloof, caring for weak disciples and guiding them to grow. In a blink of an eye, the disciple had completely surpassed him. If I want to kill the 3 rulers of the Food Kingdom, my strength is far from enough, Luo Feng said. This time I am just establishing a cause and effect with the ruler of the Tiankuan Kingdom. It can be regarded as an introduction. No hurry, the hermit said. Even if you are stronger and can destroy the real body of the Tiankuan Lord, he can still cultivate back. He will even become more vigilant. If you scare him into reincarnation, that would be bad. I have a plan on how to completely kill the 3 rulers of the Food Kingdom, Luo Feng said. Oh. Swashanka's eyes lit up. Are you sure about your plan?
Yes.
Luo Feng nodded. There are many ways, but they all require enough time to practice. Multiple ways? From Swashanka's own experience, it is too difficult to completely kill the 3 kings of Shurgua, especially the king of Tiankuan. But his own disciples have many ways. Swashanka was just excited inside. Your knowledge has far surpassed mine now. But remember, your own safety comes first. Swashanka looked at Luo Feng. I was just a first-level god king at the beginning, and I couldn't get involved in the top-level disputes in the origin continent. But I have seen a lot. I know how cruel and crazy the top-level disputes are. The strongest group of beings in the origin continent, the idol god kings, and the 2 ancient countries fought fiercely. There were many confrontations at the emperor level. The hermit said, the idol god kings have more people and more talented people, while the emperors and monarchs of the 2 ancient countries are too terrifying. There were all kinds of killings and fights, and the idol god kings even reincarnated to hide their identities, and then attacked again. The hermit looked at Luo Feng. As a god king of the first level, I am a bystander, but I can see it clearly. All fights are caused by resources. If you are not in urgent need of resources, don't get involved. The hermit reminded, practice well and make yourself strong. When you are strong, even the 2 ancient countries will have to respect you. The water in the origin continent is deep. I can't see clearly, but I know that the emperors and monarchs have made many moves and caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Compared with that level, your confrontation with the Lord of Tiankuan, that is a qualitative difference, the hermit said. Luo Feng certainly understood. The second level of God King and the ultimate level of God King are qualitative changes. Master Di Chu can annihilate his body with 1 move, and he can recover with his own vitality, while Master needs to spend 1 or 2 more moves. As for the Lord of Tiankuan, whose vitality is inferior to his, although his burst of power is more terrifying, Di Chu may be able to solve it with 1 move. It can be seen from this that there is a huge gap between a normal second level of God King and an ultimate life form. Teacher, don't worry. I just became a God King, and I am not in a hurry to participate in the fight, Luo Feng said. Swashanka smiled. Okay, I should go now. You can contact me anytime if you have anything in the future. After meeting him once and confirming his identity, we can communicate with him through causal transmission in the future. Okay, Luo Feng nodded. With his understanding of all the Chaos Realm transcendence on the Origin continent, he naturally knew that his teacher's reincarnation was the Chaos Realm transcendent was Shanjin from the Thunder ancient country. The hermit took a step and left quietly. In the night sky, the hermit looked back in the direction of Xiangjie City. All my loved ones are gone in this world. Although Shanka returned to the familiar Origin continent, he had no relatives, and no sect. He has always had an extremely strong sense of loneliness. He seemed to be a lonely ghost living in the ancient country of Thunder, and the purpose of living was revenge. But tonight, he felt relieved and no longer lonely. I still have a disciple in this Origin continent, Swashanka said silently. He watched his disciple grow up from weak to strong. Now that he came to the Origin continent, his disciple is still working hard for his revenge. In the prosperous Huyang city, a figure quietly entered the city lord's mansion. There was a child appears, who smiled and observed Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was sitting in the pavilion, looked at the newcomer in surprise. When the teachers Washanka went to Xiangjie City, he did not encounter any obstacles because of the cause and effect transmission. But this child ignored the formation and all the obstacles of Luo Feng and appeared in front of him silently. In terms of realm, he was obviously much higher than Luo Feng. Luo He. The child smiled. I am the boat master of the space-time lonely boat. Luo Feng looked at him. The three major forces in the Origin continent, 2 Worlds Palace, 10,000 Laws Realms, and the space-time lonely boat were all established by alien strongmen. Because the alien strongmen crossed the distant space to the Origin continent, their power was suppressed at the level of Chaos Realm, and even if their moves were mysterious, they were only at the first level of the Divine King Realm. The real strongmen of these 3 forces are still some extremely powerful ancient beings native to the Origin continent. The most famous person in the lonely ship of time and space is the owner of the ship. The owner of the ship has cultivated the origin of time to an incredible level and can be called the most profound person in the Origin continent's origin of time. His real identity has been exposed long ago. After all, it is easy to guess that he has achieved such a high level in the road of time. He is the God King of Xinlin. In his previous life, he was a disciple of the Lord of 10,000 Realms. Later, he fell out with the Lord of 10,000 Laws Realms, and Space-Time Lonely Boat were all established by alien strongmen. Because the alien strongmen crossed the distant space to the Origin continent, their power was suppressed at the level of Chaos Realm, and even if their moves were mysterious, they were only at the first level of the Divine King Realm. The real strongmen of these 3 forces are still some extremely powerful ancient beings native to the Origin continent. The most famous person in the lonely ship of time and space is the owner 1,000 Realms and reincarnated to hide his identity. Now he is so powerful that the Lord of 10,000 Realms can't do anything to him. The owner of the ship, Luo Feng, smiled. I think I have great talent, but compared to you, brother Luo He, I am still far inferior. The child said with a smile. I came here to invite brother Luo He to join the space-time lonely boat. I can give you resources worth 100 million merits. Brother Luo He, you can choose any of them. Resources worth 100 million merits? Thank you, but I don't plan to join any other forces. Luo Feng said. Even if I join one force, I can join other forces, the child said with a smile. Luo Feng shook his head slightly. Is it because the space-time boat was built by alien warriors? The child looked at Luo Feng. The power that the aliens can exert in our Origin continent is very limited. They can't threaten the Origin continent at all. And their true bodies are all beings that surpass the ultimate realm of the God King. Why can't we cooperate with them? Even the ancestors of the 2 ancient countries are not usually in the Origin continent. Don't they cooperate with alien warriors in the outside world? The child said, as long as you have enough strength, you can also take the initiative by cooperating with aliens. For example, when an alien invited me to join the space-time boat, my condition was, I became the master of the space-time boat, and he could only assist me. The child looked at Luo Feng. You have great talent, but it also requires time and resources. You must become an ultimate life form before the destruction of this source world. Otherwise, you will perish along with the destruction of the source world. Time is precious. What the space-time lonely boat is willing to give you must be far more than the 2 ancient countries. No hurry. Luo Feng shook his head. Not in a hurry? The child looked at Luo Feng. I will also tell you a secret. This source world has lasted for a long time, and the remaining time is probably only billions of epochs. Thank you, Master Boat. Luo Feng replied, "Billions of epochs? So long? I have only been in the origin continent for over 100 centuries. A reincarnation era in the original universe, whether long or short, is equivalent to about 10,000 centuries in the origin continent. Billions of centuries. For Luo Feng, it is really too long. There is plenty of time for cultivation. It is extremely difficult for the second level of the God King to become the ultimate level. Time is still very tight." The child looked at Luo Feng's eyes and stopped persuading him. "My invitation from the space-time lonely boat is still valid. Thank you for the invitation, Master of the boat," Luo Feng said. "We will meet often in the future." The child smiled slightly and disappeared out of thin air. Luo Feng was secretly shocked. Walking in different timelines, just disappeared like that? The practitioners of the origin of time are indeed terrifying. Compared with them, I am still too immature. This boat owner is well informed. The remaining time of this Fengyuan world is billions of epochs. I must become an ultimate life form before then? Luo Feng understood. When Luo Feng was in the Chaos Realm, few major forces invited Luo Feng. After all, in their view, even if Luo Feng became a God King, he was only invincible in the first level of the God King realm and reached the threshold of the Overlord. At that time, only the Two Realms Palace and the Samsara Building invited him, and Luo Feng naturally chose the Samsara Building. The battle between Luo Feng and the Lord of Tiankuan not only proved Luo Feng's terrifying strength, but also proved Luo Feng's talent and potential. His strength in the first level of God King actually surpassed the history of the origin continent. This talent amazed all parties. Even all parties speculated, will this Luo he be able to cross the level and compete with the Emperor and Monarch in the future? So there are naturally many forces that invite Luo Feng, and Luo Feng has also broadened his horizons. He has seen the various forces hidden in the dark on the origin continent and learned all kinds of information, refused them all for the time being. In the quiet room of the Lord's mansion of Huyang City, in the Star Tower, Luo Feng knew that the origin continent was turbulent, and the various forces were fighting openly and secretly in the treasure lands. But he did not intend to get involved now. He only wanted to consolidate his own strength. He knew very well that he still had a lot of room for improvement in the first level of God King. Luo Feng sat cross-legged in the Star Tower to practice. The unprecedentedly strong soul foundation made Luo Feng's thinking speed much faster, more than 10 times faster than when he was in the Chaos Realm.